Hey everybody, Allison Gardner here, and I wanted to share something with you that I have been learning about, and that I'm so excited to teach in class this coming Saturday. And I wanted to ask you a question. When was the last time that you told yourself that you love you? And I don't mean in a sarcastic way, and I don't mean in a snarky way, or have you never just even thought about it before? I have been facing things this last week that I now realize, and always before I looked out. I looked outward for validation. I looked outward for acceptance. I looked outward for encouragement, thinking, I didn't think, I have never thought that it was someone else's job consciously. I never consciously thought that it was someone else's job to make me happy. I never consciously thought that other people needed to validate me or encourage me. But most of my life, I have looked outward for approval. Most of my life, I have been looking around, and I do a survey around me about what other people were doing. So I would try to do what other people were doing. Or I would say things, and then I would wait for someone to say, oh, that was really good, or that was a really good insight. Because until I heard it, I didn't believe it. And so, though I was brave enough to share, I was vulnerable enough to share. I wanted to share what I thought because I did think it was a cool idea. I did think it was an awesome insight. Until I heard the words that someone else said, oh, that's really cool, I didn't dare believe what I thought. And in our lives, we will run into situations and circumstances where there will be things so important to us, so integral to who we are, that we cannot depend on someone else telling us that it's good enough, or telling us that that was a brilliant idea, or telling us that we are loved and cared about and known. Sometimes things will happen in our lives when we need to be able to say that for ourselves. And it's those moments when we are feeling down on ourselves. It's in those moments when we feel confused. It's in those moments when we feel frustrated or alone. And trust me, I've been in a lot of them because Heavenly Father is trying to help this lesson stick. And I still have been falling into old habits of looking outside me for validation, looking outside me to be okay in my skin. When it didn't stick, I would hear it and I still didn't believe it because I would still say they don't know. They don't really know me. I'm the only one that really knows me, and even then I get surprised sometimes. So I just invite you to think about, what are places where you feel discontent? Where are places where you feel frustrated? Where are places where you feel confused or uncertain? Or you feel alone? And really look at them. Really think about them. Really dive into why you feel that way. Because then you start seeing lies. And you start seeing, because we have this tendency to blame other people, and we have this tendency to look around our environment and think that it's our environment's fault that we feel that way. But guess what, guys? Every emotion we feel is because of something we observe, and then we attach a thought to what we observed. And so it's not what's going on in our environment. It's about what's going on inside of us and how what's going on inside of us engages with what's going on out there. And so I would invite you to pause today. And I invite you to think about something that made you feel a certain way. That maybe you feel frustrated or discouraged, or you're questioning yourself, or you're questioning a relationship, or you just feel confused. And I would invite you to pause. Oh wait, you already did that. Pause again. Think about what thoughts are going through your head. Really look at what comparisons are you making? What inside feelings are you connecting to what's going on outside? And look for the lie. Look for that negative thought that popped up that then caused you to spiral down. Look at the discouragement you're feeling, the frustration you're feeling, and connect dots. See what's going on. See the lie, and then find the truth. Find the truth and embrace that truth. For me, the big one for me was I have some relationships where I've often offered my thoughts and my perspective, and immediately the other people disagree with me and override what I shared. And so I had this thought going on in my head that I didn't matter. That because they never thought about what I offered, because they never acted on what I offered, I was telling myself that I didn't matter. And so I had to take the time, and instead of just blaming them, oh, they make me feel so frustrated, I had to go, okay, what am I really feeling and where am I really coming from? And when I realized that the lie I was operating on is because they're not listening to me, that must mean I don't matter, then I was able to look at myself and say what's true. And I could then tell myself I mattered before I was even born. So I still matter. And then I sat in it for a while. So what's an emotion you're feeling? So first, what's the emotion you're feeling? What is an internal emotion or thought that you attached to an observation? What is the lie? What is truth? And be in it for a while. And I look forward to hearing how that goes for you. And I look forward to hearing from you I look forward to see you on Saturday when we deep dive into this information even more. 9:15, this page. Excited to see you there. Bye, guys.